Hello to my fellow fire signs. How's your weekend going? Mine has been pretty chaotic and busy today. However, I'm very much hoping that it won't be anywhere near as chaotic and busy as was today, tomorrow. What does the week have in store for fire signs? I am shuffling the cards and let's find out. Cards are telling me they're done. I think we've got one more shuffle in there and we'll find out. I'm using a Celtic cross spread, traditional 10 card layout. And the first card, this represents fire signs, the Initiate of Swords. This is what crosses fire signs. This is the Elder of Chalices. Distant past foundation, think about 3 to 6 months ago. This is the Ace of Swords. This is a more recent past foundation, about 6 weeks to 3 months ago. This is the Three of Pentacles. Current events, about 6 weeks ago to about 6 weeks in the future, the Ace of Chalices. Now we have the future card, which will be from about 6 weeks in the future to about 6 months. This is the Eight of Pentacles. The final 4 cards, I prefer to flip after we've read the other 6. That is just my personal preference, but we'll get there in a minute. All right, so the Initiate of Swords. This to me is very much a card that is, yes, seeking balance, but also I feel like we're looking for the positive in this situation. This is largely having to do with finances. I get the feeling by looking at some of the other cards, those finances will tie into work. However, this is one where this is just standing alone and letting things go as they may, rocking on your own, but not forgetting your people who are at work, who are helping you along the way. The Elder of Chalices tells me that there is someone who is very much a confidant, who is a little bit older, a little bit wiser, who is providing some guidance. Guidance that isn't necessarily wanted or even heard, but it's there nonetheless. This comes from a place of love. Ace of Swords. This is back a little bit, like I said, about 3 to 6 months ago. This one tells me that this was kind of a, I'm going to throw the gauntlet down situation, kind of done with things and holding on and digging in and getting stubborn, which fire signs are known for. Let's be real. Things started looking up a little bit brighter, a little bit more recently. This is the Three of Pentacles. This is one where those interpersonal work relationships started to change and you started to feel valued. You very much started to feel that camaraderie, like you're part of a group, part of a team, whereas before I get the feeling that maybe not so much. Looking at this now, there are some people that I would definitely put a thank you out to. The Ace of Chalices says that this is an emotional card, guys. Looking at the rest of the spread, this one almost feels like it doesn't belong. However, this feels like it doesn't belong because this card very much to me feels like a more personal relationship, nothing work related. This is closer to you, closer to home. This could be your best friend. This could be your significant other, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever. And there is balance here. There is unity here. This is a very, very positive card, but this card, along with the Ace of Swords, serve to balance each other. Good place to be, especially for fire signs where we can tend to go off half-cocked. Right now, we're sitting in balance. That's a good thing, especially going into the fall equinox, which is coming up on right around the 22nd. That's also when the new moon is. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. This one is in the near future. This is coming about a little bit quicker than what I would typically say for that position. This is acknowledgement in a financial capacity, and I very much feeling like this is a work spread. This is a possibility of maybe getting a raise or being talked to about a raise. This is acknowledgement of a job well done. This is well earned. No doubt about it. This is you reaping the fruits of your labor. Now, the rest of the four cards. This card represents you. This one is the Seven of Swords. Are you seeing a theme here? Because the Seven of Swords very much has a similar feeling to the Initiative of Swords, where you're kind of not necessarily feeling valued, but keep up your hard work, keep up what you're doing because you are getting noticed. This is the environments. This is the Four of Pentacles. This tells me that there's a little bit of a struggle going on financially. Perhaps you have some bills that are running behind. You go to the grocery store and realize yet again that you're suddenly spending way more than you used to at the grocery store. I understand this. Looking at it, I understand where it's sitting. And try not to take it personally because nothing is directed entirely at you. Let's look at the hopes and fears. This is the Initiative Chalices. This is a hope that everything is going to be okay, that both work and home are going to balance further, that you are going to get the acknowledgement that you seek and that you want, and that it isn't all for naught. Let's look at the final outcome card, shall we? This is the final outcome. This is the Five of Chalices. Typically, I would say that that is not necessarily a great card to get and so on. It really looking at the imagery, but the feeling I have is that you're relying on the rock solid foundation that you've laid, and especially here, because you're looking at all of this effort that you have put forth that you aren't really feeling acknowledged by or for, and the person who is standing behind you is standing there offering support, helping to fill that cup, so to speak, and is there for you, but that is not the person who is guiding you here. So don't disregard what's going on at home for work. As fire signs, we have a tendency to be very tunnel visioned, and this week we need to not go there. We need to kind of expand where we're at and acknowledge the people in our lives who are there, that are there whether we need them to be or not, and perhaps extend a thank you. So looking at that, I think we're done for this week, but I really hope that you guys have a fantastic week. If you haven't already, hit a like, hit a subscribe, and please, if this card reading resonates with you, drop a comment below. I love to interact with everybody that reaches out to me. Love and light to everybody. I hope you have a great week.